Hello, 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 my lovelies. It is Talk Radio, TWK Radio with your hostess, Cypher Kai, on the ones and twos. It is the Worldwide Wednesday Musical Mix at 6. I believe it is November 17th, 2021. So, lots to talk about tonight. We're having COVID Conversations Part 3. I think we're up to Part 3. I guess for the next couple of weeks, we'll just do like a little COVID corner, touch on some updates on some COVID antics, that's what I call it, COVID antics. Let's agree to disagree, respectfully. And we're also going to talk tonight about Polititricks. There's some things I want to talk about the New York City gubernatorial election that's coming up in 2022. I've got some thoughts and opinions and predictions, and I'd like to discuss that with you guys this evening. Also, special shout out to all of the archivists who are going back in the archives and just doing the damn thing. You guys are liking, sharing, listening, making this thing a movement. It's really, really wonderful. Also, thank you to the guys who tune in live. However you decide to shift your schedule, you're tuning in while you're coming home from work, you're tuning in at the job, you are making time for it. So all of my international talkers who are on a different time zone, those of you who are staying up in the middle of the night to listen or have me as your morning show, I welcome all of it. You guys are amazing. What? Really, really make me enjoy what I do. And I'm so glad you guys are enjoying what you're hearing and, getting involved with this. Big major things are coming for Talk Radio, the Talk Radio platform, and the listeners, you guys. Thank you. So, you guys always yell at me, I don't say it enough. So, this is Cypher Kai. You're currently tuned into Talk Radio, www.tawkradio.com/shows. We've got some social medias out there we don't really use very often. We'll be working on that. No worries. And lots of other things coming up. But I just wanted to come here a few minutes early before 6 o'clock. On Wednesdays, we start 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The entire schedule for the podcast will be changing soon, more than likely in the new year. Keep you up to date on that stuff. The website is always the best place to find all of that updated information. But I do like to come on a little early, especially when I'm in the studio by myself, just to make sure that everything is working and functioning. So what I can see on my side is that the waves are moving, right? So I know my voice is going out. I'm hoping you guys are hearing it fantastically. And I didn't want you to have dead air. It's all about not having the dead air. So on the Musical Mix at 6 on this platform, what we do is we play songs that are new to me and new to the platform, hopefully new to you as well. There might be one song that I'm going to play tonight that I think I heard playing somewhere else before. I think so. And I loved it. And so I just want to give a resounding thank you to all of the record labels who give me access to your stuff, the managers, the artists who give me access to the music to play, so that we can have wonderful music here playing on the show, right? So thank you for trusting me. Thank you for allowing me. Managers that are tuned in, if you've got independent artists and some of the artist music I'm playing, I'll be reaching out to you behind the scenes. There's a magnificent opportunity coming up for your artist. And also we've got great promotional packages for your artists as well. But there's some tremendous things for those of you who've been connected to the show from the earlies. It will be very worth your while to hear what we're going to put together for you guys as well. So let's get into it tonight. The first song for the evening was a new, I believe, 2 weeks ago on the show. I love it. So I'm going to play it tonight to get things started off before we start our conversations. Tonight's going to be a short show before you guys start with me right now. Short show tonight, about an hour. Gotta get disciplined. On for an hour and off. 1 hour on Wednesdays, 2 hours on Fridays on the podcast. And then we'll be working on the TV show and all the other things we're working on that's coming in the spring of 2022. Lots of things that happen behind the scenes for tonight. Going to try to keep it to a strict hour, you guys. Strict hour. Let's be consistent and disciplined. I meant to say something else. Consistency is the key, Cypher. Consistency is the key, right? All right. So tonight, the first song for the evening is "Do It For Me." DJ Jamar and Patex here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Oh, you there? DJ Jamar for the girl them again. On this journey, boss, I fi tell them. Back it up, 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 yeah. Back it, back it, back it up, boy. Back it up, me girl, because I feel something. A one man alone get a leg for one. Girl, you have the fat and the heavy. Then over me girl them can't tell you no. I the girl them time now fi dash it out. The whole place bust when you dash it out. Dash it out, dash it out, dash it out. Dash it, dash it, dash it, dash it, dash it out. Yeah, me love that style, just do it for me. Do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. Make your body shake, girl, do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place and do it easily. Yeah, me love that style, just do it for me. Do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. Make your body shake, girl, do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place and do it easily. Girl, you have the place on a fire. Me love it how you round like a tire. Sweater run off for me, a perspire. You know shape like no fridge or no dryer. The girl them time now fi dash it out. The whole place bust when you dash it out. Dash it out, dash it out, dash it out.
TAWK Radio Musical Mix at 6.
Just do it for me, 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 do it for me. Make your body shake, girl, do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place, you do it easily. Girl, me love that style, just do it for me. Do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. Make your body shake, girl, do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place, you do it easily. Go on your head, girl. 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 Got it. Me say that one your name. Girl, me love that style, just do it for me. 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 Make your body shake, girl. Do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place, you do it easily. Girl, me love that style, just do it for me. 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 Make your body shake, girl. Do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place, you do it easily. Do it for me. Do it. Do it for me. Do it. Oi. Do it for me.
Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio with your host Cypher Kai on the ones and twos. Oh my god. So to all my A1 day ones, you guys know I tell you all my business. Why am I in this place that I'm broadcasting from? And I swear I've got like one overwhelming hot flash hitting me right now. Oh my god. Broadcasting naked in the dark in a cool room and I'm still freaking sweating. Oh my god. What? We're going to have some conversations about, menopause, which is, which I find so odd and so disrespectful because, again, those of my A1 day ones know, what my particular social situation is. So I've had menopause for quite some time. I don't understand why this is even happening. Right? But that's more for a Friday show. Again, you guys come back for the Freaky Fetish Fridays. I know last week I said we're going to have a deeper conversation on the Friday about sex trafficking and a couple of repercussions from, big countries pulling out from smaller countries when they step in to help out in war zone countries and things. It's just a little heavy this week. So I don't know if I'm going to do that this week. I will talk about that on the show upcoming, but maybe not for this Friday coming up. My own decision, it just feels a little heavy. I get very deep into the topics when I talk about stuff. I'm sure you guys know that, and it's just a little heavy for this week. So we're going to do our Freaky Fetish Fridays. We're going to talk about fetishes on Fridays. Not for the faint of heart, not for those who are underage, not for those who are not sexually active, not recommended. Headphones are required, saves your marriages, saves your respect level with your children and things. We say a lot of wild things on the Fridays potentially. So, that is on our Friday nights. That starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you'd like to check in for that. And as I said, tonight we're going to have COVID Conversations Part 3 and talk about Polititricks, yeah? So, COVID Conversations first. It's almost, I get rather, just the exercise of my mouth to talk about this thing. Hopefully there's an ending to this thing coming. There's some people saying, buckle down for it, it's going to be here forever, but it doesn't have to be. People are being responsible, socially distancing and whatnot. The narrative has to continue for a while. So to all of my politicos who I know are tuned into the show, this is the show for you. If you tune in early, you tune in late, get your interns to listen, share it round. Lots of information you guys are going to want. Shout out to all of my politicos. I've got politicians, verified politicians that listen to my show, and they know that I will say the things that they wish they could say. They also know that what they tell me, I'll report to you guys without airing them out and putting them on front page. I have no interest in doing that. No clout chasing needed here. But tonight, yeah. Interesting conversations tonight. So on the COVID front, Thank you guys who listened to the show and you sent me and you were telling me thank you and how mortified you were about some things. I tell you guys things on this platform so that you're prepared, not to freak you out, not to stir trouble. Sometimes it's to stir trouble. Sometimes it is. And I'll say that, let's start some arguments. I'll say that, right? But other than that, it's to get you guys informed. And so I was telling you guys months ago, that they were going to try to push these booster shots, to the masses. So not just on the overage, the 65 and older, the ones in the nursing homes, the frontline workers and that kind of thing, to everyone. So of course Pfizer is pushing the issue to do that. They would like for everyone to take the boosters. They're petitioning for that now. More than likely, I can tell you right now, in the US, if you're listening from the United States, that is more than likely going to pass before the end of this month. Before the end of November 2021, that'll go through. Latest, before the end of the year. Trust me. So that is coming. I also want to remind you guys who are maybe new to the platform or you didn't get to hear the episodes or whatnot. I always encourage you guys to go back into the archives and or download them onto a flash drive. Best gift you can give yourself. The archives will not always be there. Lots of cleansing and cleaning up will be happening on the platforms for the new year. But then, so go onto our website, www.tawkradio.com/shows and help yourself to the 100 and something episodes that are there and download them and keep them. All right. So if you guys have taken the vaccination, and so when the booster gets approved for everyone and you decide, well, that's not what I was told. They told me I only had to take 2. We can get our lives back and all that. Well, we've already established for the most part that wasn't true. And I don't think you're going to have much of a leg to stand on if you've taken the first 2 and decide you don't want to take the third. But I know that in some other countries, I think I mentioned Bahrain, Israel, a couple other places, that if the government decides you need to have a booster shot, and it's you're in the bracket of people that's supposed to get it, whatever they deem it, 18 and up or whatever it is, and you don't take it, you will no longer be considered fully vaccinated. And I know in most countries, and I'm sure it's going to come to the US soon enough, that whatever privileges you get for being fully vaccinated, you will no longer have, because effectively, you will not be fully vaccinated. Right? Does it make sense? Right? So it's almost as though if I charge you $100 to get into an event, and for that $100 pass, you get to interact with the artist, you get a free meal and this and that, but you only give me $80, you can't get the same perks as a person with the $100 ticket, can you? Kind of the same thing. Yeah? So just bear that in mind, that, the things that you enjoy, the things that they swindled you and hoodwinked you into thinking you were going to get, and those of you who took the shots and were lording it over people, oh, I don't know why you unvaccinated people just fall in line and do this and do that and do that. It's a conspiracy. They're not going to make us do this and that. It's kind of going there. Again, I don't know about the microchips in your body and all that other stuff, but, those of us who were in the know, we knew, right, that once it started, it wouldn't stop. And so they're also saying, if you've taken the Johnson & Johnson shot, the initial dose of it, you need a booster every 2 months. Yeah, right? You're going to need a booster every 2 months. And here's the wickedness and the rub. So if you took the Johnson & Johnson vaccination, and every 2 months you need to get a booster, Johnson & Johnson does not currently have their booster available. But you can't use that as an excuse. Well, sorry, I can't get the third dose because Johnson & Johnson doesn't have a booster out yet. Moderna doesn't have a booster out yet. In the United States, they're already saying Pfizer has a booster shot. And so what you will do when we get this thing passed and decide that everybody needs to take this booster shot is you take the booster shot that's available to you. You're not allowed to put it off waiting for the one that you initially got to be ready. I'll give you that one more again. They're going to Frankenstein your insides. They said, look we could give 2 shits about what shots you took, first shot, second shot, 1 shot dose, whatever it is. When we decide that everybody can and should get this booster shot, you go to your pharmacist or your mobile vehicle truck or your primary care doctor, and whatever they have available is what you get. And more than likely what they're going to have available is going to be Pfizer. Pfizer is dominated everything. They are everywhere, dominated everywhere, and that's what is going on. Now, I know, and I just like to start some arguments now. This is where we start the arguments, right? Curiosity, just a little curious. I know we got infrastructure bills passing here in the United States. We got climate change bills passing, stuff with a bunch of pork. I'm sure a bunch of pork. This is for my politicos. Have your people for the, especially for the round the way politicals. So politicos round the way, like the district leaders and that kind of thing. Those of you who are not necessarily involved with going to like Washington and having a hand in stuff, read through those bills. Have some of your interns read through those bills. What is being sold away in porking up those bills? What's going on? What's really, really going on? Find out what's really, really going on, right? We'll start there. But also, just really prepare. There's a lot that's coming. I can see the writing on the wall, and we're going to talk about a lot of that this evening. For those of you who just now coming on, welcome to the platform. Hello. Happy to have you. Oh, Mr. Ven, hello, darling. Hello, darling. You guys will hear me say Ven's name a lot. Mr. Ven is one of my A1 day ones, always on the scene. And when he's not on, I think he feels worse than I do when he's not on publicly. Ven is a producer and an artist, and we've played some of his music here on the platform before. Very public in his adoration for talk radio, so I appreciate having Mr. Ven here with us, all of you as well, but he likes to go in and show his face and make his voice heard in the public chat room. So shout out to Mr. Ven. I'm over here embarrassing him, right? Touch on that. It's also unscripted, uncensored live radio, right? Gonna play one of the new news. I pulled a lot of new news for you guys tonight. So the same song I started off with this evening will also be the exclude of the evening, but I got about 8 new news I pulled, so I can't wait to hear what they are. Gonna play one, come back, we'll continue this COVID conversation and get into the Polititricks. I don't want to forget that this evening. And like I said, the show is going to be a light show tonight. I'm going to be very disciplined and live radio, and try to stay within an hour of broadcasting tonight. So let's go. The first new I pulled is something called Played Out by Busy Crook featuring 42 Doug here on the Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6 on Talk Radio with your host Cypher Kai.
Good luck forever records, you already know what it is. You already know what it is, man. It's just biggest record label in South Florida. Some more checks. Hey, look. My accountant just sent me a text that looked like it came from my ex. How many racks did I blow up Bottega for bitch I just met? Shit, I don't know. I don't keep chat. I just make it for love. Then I hopped on the jet. Yeah, crazy how they thought it died now. Bitches that said they would never be sized, now they wear that shit with pride now. When I'm drunk, please take my phone in my hands. Cause bitches get jails and post from my room and niggas get jammed. That in a Cuban, that shit is a baby, that's 200 grams. I bought a Rollie same day by Mercedes, that's 200 grand. Promise my wifey I cut up my hoes, but I love them to death. I used to wanna be in with the rappers, now I'm with the X. Bitch, y'all play me, damn. Look how I played out. I make it rain now. You hear what they say now? X bitch, y'all play me, huh? Look how I played out. Look at my chain now, bitch. Look at my gang now.
I used to wanna fuck with the 10, but it ain't worth. Fuck on all they friends, buy a new purse. This shit merge, 60 a verse. Pull up in the vert, Uzi on me, step back KD. These blues right here.
Worldwide Wednesdays.
Voice ain't shit without KP. Like Brian ain't shit without AD. Damn near 200 for this AP. Heard I'm getting money, niggas hate me. Bitch, you ain't getting nothing, you ain't me. Flag it, bag it, cash it, stash it. Pull off, laugh it, pull off swerves. Still so dope, still so bird. Gave my whole bitch, that's my word.
X bitch, y'all play me, damn. Look how I played out. I make it rain now. You hear what they say now? X bitch, y'all play me, huh? Look how I played out. Look at my chain now, bitch. Look at my gang now.
CAWK Radio's Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6 on www.cawkradio.com/shows. Alright, so tonight's COVID conversations with Cypher Kai here on the Worldwide Wednesdays. on Talk Radio, TWK Radio. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and getting involved in these conversations, yeah? I'll be honest, if you're sending me things back and forth behind the scenes, I am in a very dark room and I won't see most of it. To be honest, I've got so many things popping in my face. I don't know what I'll get to read tonight from what I won't get to read. So no harm on you. Oh, so somebody thinks listen, okay, live, unscripted, uncensored. My A1 day ones knows that I'm unvaccinated. I've said that. My own personal beliefs, my body, my choice. I'm not vaccinated. Most of the people who listen to my platform know that. Some of my VIPs, well, one of my particular VIPs is like, oh, well, you didn't tell me you're unvaccinated. My audience knows I'm unvaccinated. They know my stand on it, but they also know that I love them and I respect their own individual choices, which is all I'm asking for. I don't know what propaganda is going out for the people who are unvaccinated, wanting to assert themselves in places where they know they shouldn't go. If, there's a mandate in place and whatever. I'm simply saying, that is my choice not to be vaccinated. My choice. And again, not just against COVID. I've never taken a flu vaccine either. And anytime I had a choice to take a vaccination, I did not. And for those of you who want to misconstrue this and start arguments, I love it. My skin is thick. And say, well, when you were younger, you got vaccinations and whatnot to come to this country and to go and move around and whatnot. Again, I said, my body, my choice. When those vaccinations got given to me before, it was not my choice. I was underage and it was on my parents to do that. When it was of my choice, I opted not to. But in that, I've also been very good about keeping myself healthy, doing homeopathic things, and socially distancing before it became a term. I don't assert myself into places where I don't need to be. You know what I'm saying? So I've been very responsible in that regard for myself for quite some time before the pandemic. So hopefully that answers my SC who's listening to the show, and thank you for being there. Love you much. Love you much. Right? But see, I tell people this is an open platform for critical thinking. So we do critical thinking here. You know what I mean? And I welcome it. All love. It's all love still. Anyway, so let's go. So next, I was saying also, one of the things in this COVID corner before we get into the political part of the show is that there's no way it's going to be an hour tonight. I can already feel it. Anyway, love you guys. I'll stay here forever. For you guys. Stay here forever for you guys. So the next thing is about this COVID-19 pill. So I know Merck is trying to put out a COVID-19 pill, and Pfizer is also trying to get one approved as well. Like I said, I do believe that will be approved either before the end of this month, November of 2021, when you guys are hearing this, or at the very least before the end of the year. And so my understanding of the regimen for the Pfizer, that's the company I'm focused on tonight, is a 2-pill regimen. One pill is supposed to be some name I can't pronounce and I don't have it in front of my face right now, being a little lazy, be honest, but you guys can look it up. It's an online show. Open a tab and Google COVID-19 pill. The COVID-19 pill. So you're going to take 2 pills for 5 days and it's supposed to give you the same protections as the vaccine. That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? But also, can you hear the sarcasm in my voice? Right? So it sounds wonderful. And in all honesty, this part of the show is for the people who believe in the vaccines and experienced something. You lost someone, you like to have your freedoms going out and that kind of thing. I'm going to address this to you, right? That sounds actually great. And for me, it's kind of like, okay, so there are lots of people who didn't take the vaccination for different reasons. They say, oh, it's painful. They didn't want to go through the pain of getting a shot done. They were afraid, that kind of thing. So the pills will help. You can take the pills in your house, right? At your own discretion. 5-day regimen. And you're supposed to be, fully covered. I think up to this, they said it's supposed to be the same effectiveness as the vaccine. That's what they said. Sounds wonderful, potentially. But then, here I go, my critical thinking ass. And they're saying, okay, well, we're going to offer this pill to 95 countries. 95 countries. And not only going to offer it because, there's been this big thing in the news of, all of the developed countries up to their, 3rd and 4th doses are given people. They've not shared the vaccine with the poorer countries and the third world countries, and that thing is like they don't want to help them and this and this and this. Been a big thing about that. And so sometimes, getting left out of something is not always a bad thing. You got to kind of look at that. Getting left out of things sometimes is not always a bad thing, right? So with that being said, they said 95 countries are going to give access to the vaccine, but more than access, they're going to empower them. 95 countries, right? And they said these 95 countries that they're going to give these pills to cover half. Listen to what I'm saying, because here's where we do some talk radio math. I want you guys to get your papers and pens out. I want you to warm up your Googling finger, right? Open up another tab. I know for a fact if you're listening to the show from your phone, from the website, from our direct website at www.tawkradio.com/shows, while I'm speaking, we set up the website where you can drop this, you can do other things on your phone while still hearing the show play in the background. So you can open your tabs and look up the things I'm saying. Feel free to challenge me or enlighten me. It's not about an argument, it's about information, right? So of the 95 countries they're giving this pill to, it encompasses half of the global population. Now, before I get to the next part, that's really huge because it's currently 7.9 billion people as of 2021 on the face of the earth currently. I venture to say 8 billion people rounded up, because if we do our math, we know that census counts are based on who reports. Countries are not currently going door by door, going into your home and doing head counts. They're not doing that. They're trusting you to report. If you're undocumented in any country, if you are just against, political overreach, you're not doing it. If you live off the grid in a cabin or something somewhere, you're not doing it. I don't know if they accurately count prisoners as well. So I'd venture to say on a global level, there's at least 100 million people that has not been counted. So let's call it 8 billion people for the sake of doing this mathematics we're about to get into, right? So these 95 countries that they're going to give the pill to, but not just give the pill. Here's the thing. They're empowering them. They're giving them the formula. Uh-oh, shit. They're giving them the formula for the pill. Complete chemical breakdown of the pill so they can manufacture it in their own countries and sell it at a cheap rate. And Pfizer is going to keep their formulation as well, sell it to the more developed countries, I'm sure, for a little more. Now, ooh, Lord. Now, something smells a little fishy. You guys have no idea what I look like, but I got a pretty big nose. I do. I got a pretty big nose. I appreciate having this divinely designed, pretty big black woman's nose. And I can smell bullshit from a mile away. So you mean to tell me we're about, a year and a half into this pandemic, and you refuse, all of the companies refuse to give out any ingredients at all. Forget the fucking formulation. Any ingredients at all in the vaccinations, but you're going to give out your entire chemical breakdown for your pills to what you've considered third world countries that take up half of the global population. So let's do some math, right? Not me wishing this, just kind of thinking. Everything always boils down to math, right? The numbers, weighing the pros and the cons, and the mathematics of it. So if we were to follow the narrative of listening to what the billionaires and the scientists are saying, there's too many people on the face of the planet, is what they said. Not enough resources to go around, too many fucking people. And so now I go, big drug company, let's say it was me, and Pfizer says, look, I'm going to give you guys a formulation to do these pills. They do the pills and it's covering 4 billion people. And let's just say rough mathematics, if 10%, just 10% of the population has a negative effect, whatever the negative effect might be, from this pill combination, you've now affected, right, 400 million people. 400 million people, right? And let's assume from that amount of people, another 10% might die or have some kind of long-lasting, repercussions from this. You've effectively crippled 40 million people. So how come the proprietary shit goes out the window now? How come Coca-Cola now wants to give Pepsi the ingredients? How come Popeyes now wants to give Kentucky Fried Chicken the ingredients? When since does a company give up their proprietary information? Because they have to know that they're giving out the info, but it won't just stay there. Someone's going to talk, someone's going to get paid, whatever. Other companies can take their formula. I mean, it's going to be a thing. So why that? And then how do you justify as a company, you're allowing these people to do the same formulation, allegedly the same formulation, and sell it for cheaper, but you are going to continue to produce it and sell it in the more, what do they call it, modern countries? How do they refer to them? The more developed countries, but for more money. The same exact fucking thing. Now, mind you, we get away with doing it all the time. We have, factories and things that may close for us in China and India for next to nothing. Slap Jordan's name or Givenchy or something next to it, and all of a sudden it's thousands of dollars and hundreds of dollars and whatever. It's done all the time. But how do you justify it? See, because it was cool, people taking the drugs and stuff when they didn't have to pay for it. But people need to understand that now that it's accepted, mandated, when they start saying, and they said that now with the third doses, the boosters, those are not going to be free. When they start to implement it across the board, remember I said this to you, I don't know if it's been made public yet or not, I just kind of feel the niggling, right? Once they have approved this booster shot for everyone, I think it's 18 and up in the United States, can only talk about here, and they say you got to take this shit, the government's not going to keep footing the bill for this. I mean, I need you guys to understand this. They're not going to keep footing the bill for this. At some point, you're going to have to pay for this yourself. So those of you who are not working, who haven't kept up with your medical coverage and all that kind of stuff, yeah. Obamacare is still in place. Do you remember at one point they started charging us to be healthy, right? Obamacare came out. And they were like, look, you decided, I can't afford this. I'll try to eat better. I'll try to walk more, whatever. I can't afford to keep up the medical coverage because it could be expensive depending on what kind of coverage you have. If you're working, especially, right? And they started charging you on your taxes per month that you didn't have it and all kinds of other shit. They're not going to keep footing the bill. They did exactly what they're supposed to do. Set up the structure, foundation for it. Push it in, mandate it. You got to keep it. It's like a drug deal, isn't it? Take a little taste. It's not that bad. You're going to feel good. Right? You'll feel relaxed. You won't have to worry about your problems for right now. It's okay. And then when the high goes down, you're going back for it. So I've heard. Never taken any drugs. Not interested. Right? Fucking control freak. A bit of a control freak over here. But simply saying they've set the foundation already. So at some point, you guys are going to have to pay to get these boosters that I know you don't want to have. And I say this to say, I know a lot of people have been vaccinated and I still love them same way. And they have said they are not getting the third. They were rather outraged when they heard about it, even hearing about it on the show. No, that can't be right, Cypher. I want to believe you. I like your show and stuff, but I don't believe that. And I said, wait for it. They're talking about, I'm predicting that it's going to be at least a 5-shot dose. I was saying 5 rounds of shots. But now they're saying, depending on what you took, either every 2 months or every 6 months after your last set of dosing. Even the flu shot you only need to take once a year. My God. But anyway, I digress. I'm just simply saying something smells fishy round here. That you're going to give away all your proprietary information to 95 countries. They decided they're not giving it to China, not giving it to Russia, Brazil, and a couple other places. So I'd heard, and I didn't get to investigate very well, but I heard Pfizer was bullying countries when they went in. That's why a lot of them didn't get the vaccines, which again is what I find funny about them giving up the formulation for the pills. When they went in initially with their vaccines, they wanted water rights, land, mining rights, and things in particular countries they were going in order to give their citizens the vaccines. And the country said, no, I'm not going to let you bend me over and sodomize me to give me something that you should be giving to us anyway. Right? So the countries said no. And the countries that said no, I know Brazil was one of them, that fought them tooth and nail. They didn't give them anything, even though Brazil's numbers were kind of high. Right? So I'm wondering, and I'll do a little research maybe for next week. I'm going to find out what 95 countries that they're going to give the pill to, all fucking 95, because I'm nosy. And I'd like to see if I can find out what negotiations were made or what requests were made in those countries, or what those countries are rich in that maybe the requests will be made down the line. But something's coming. This is a business. Pfizer is a drug company, a for-profit drug company. They've gotten blanketed global immunity from every country that they've dealt with, and they've had government money paying them. They didn't have to worry about your little Medicaid and your little payments. They were getting global country money, right? So there's a power play here. I can smell it. I just need to figure out what it is. Just curious. Just curious. I'm sure it'll be public record. Just curious. If you dig well enough, it's always there. Something's always there. Something is always there. As I'm mentioning this, you guys should go and look around and see what you can find too. But there's something there. Trust me. Anyway, Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6. The next new for the night is from Derek Milano featuring Ty Dolla $ign, Call Control. Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6.
She like that's gon' grip her. Be that, then lift her up. She like it in control. She like it in control. She like that's gon' grip her. Be that, then lift her up. She like it in control. She like it in control. She like aggressive. Says she like it rough one. Grab her neck. Beat up from the back, and you obsessed with this. The way I put in work, I need a check for this. Girl, you too wet for this. She like when I'm pulling her hair, so she love it when I get up. I made it crazy, I'm making it in a couple of minutes. She wanna go back and forth, I don't argue, but we can do that when we finish. She said the is a drug, got a feeling when I leave the crib, I've been itching. Whoa, switch it up, put that let me lick it up. Shorty got all that, I'ma pick it up. I want you want her, girl, mix it up. Shorty got one, got it higging up. Told me she like a roll, so I grip her up. Keeping her quiet, I zip her up. Body bagging up, I zipped it up. She like, that's gon' grip her up. Beat up, then lift her up. She like it in control. She like it in control. She like, that's gon' grip her up. Beat up, then lift her up. She like it in control. She like it in control.
Pick her up, lift her up. Spin my around and put it. Spin around.
TAWK Radio.
Yeah. I told her on the wrap up. I'ma just do it, not talk what I would've did. Shawty gon' choke on me. Well, hopefully, she more than 10. God, don't matter, she still not a hold of me. Gripping that bad, she might put a in it. More the ball, my he always let me have my fun with it. Drop all my chains on, get in the face with a VVS. We just made a tape, no DVD or VHS. If I inside the night, we gotta go to the CVS. Yeah, so good, I stay
like,
after.
That's gon' grip her up. Beat up, then lift her up. She like it in control. She like it in control. She like, that's gon' grip her up. Beat up, then lift her up. She like it in control. She like it in control. She like, that's gon' grip her up. Beat up, then lift her up. She like it in control. She like it in control.
TWK Radio's Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6 with your hostess Cypher Kai. So there's some people saying, the pills don't work as effectively as vaccines would. And I guess to some degree, because I know like when I take my my vitamins and stuff that I take, gets into your system faster. I'm not advocating for vaccines. Pay attention. We do critical thinking and heavy listening on this show. I just know that when something goes into your system as a liquid, it hits you faster than when you take a pill. Obviously, people know that, right? Like if you take a pill for, I don't know, your allergies or some shit, it takes a little longer to get into your system than knocking back a couple of swigs of Benadryl or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah, so if that's the case, and it's a lot of nurses and doctors who are listening, and my VIPs are telling me that, they don't think the pills will be as effective. Because even when you go to your doctor now, and they put you on a medication, say for high blood pressure or something, it takes about 2 weeks to get into your body to a therapy level, even then, right? So if you're only taking oh my God, I just thought about, that's why I love my talkers. I just thought about that. Right. I know, unfortunately, I know too many people that got high blood pressure and diabetes and stuff. And I do remember them saying that, yeah, I get very concerned because people I really care about. And I say, how are your pills working, what they got you on? I'm always constantly looking at things that are getting recalled and that kind of thing. And so I asked them, how are you feeling? And what's going on? And they say they can't tell me because they wouldn't know anything for about 2 weeks, and they've got to go back to the doctor in about 30 days or so to gauge it and whatnot. So if there's only a regimen for this COVID pill, 2 pills, you take once a day for 5 days, that wouldn't even be enough time to get into your body. So then how strong are these pills, or are they just lying at the rip? Oh shit. Sounds like they're scamming already. Critical thinking here on Talk Radio. Critical thinking. All right, anyway. Going to get into another new tonight. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Polititricks. Some things I'd like to talk about the gubernatorial election coming up in New York City in 2022. My thoughts on that. And also before I do that, before I come up to the COVID thing, one more thing. So my Austrian talkers, oh my goodness, you poor babies. I heard the unvaccinated people in Austria are literally locked down. They cannot leave their homes at all for anything. They can't go shopping, they can't be outside, nothing. And that the police officers are coming to check on them. I don't know how that's going. I didn't get a lot of details on that. I need to do some more research on that and talk about that maybe more in depth next week. But you guys can look that up. In Austria, there's a second lockdown where the unvaccinated are locked down. And, I'd like to gauge the efficacy of that. Because you've got the unvaccinated people completely locked down in their house. They can't leave, they can't go out, they can't this and that. And when I looked at a picture you guys had sent me from there, the police officers are out there, no helmets on their head, no mask on their face, no nothing. They've already told you guys when you take the vaccine, you can still potentially pass it. So why do you think you can go outside, do whatever you like, get the numbers up, then when the people that don't have the vaccines are locked in the house, who are you going to blame it on? Oh, Lord. It's, get wise. You guys get wise. And those of you who are locked in, please stay strong. And feel free to tune into Talk Radio. Thank you. Thank you much. I know that you do because you're sending me information. So, just a lot to deal with. Anyway, let's get into some music. It's a little heavy. Let's get into some music, some more new news. Come back and let's talk about these Polititricks here in the United States. My politicos, listen. This is stuff that you can get across. I want you guys to take this information. Well, I know you're going to do it anyway. I know there's a lot of big name reporters from big name papers, especially in New York, that take things from my Wednesday show and you put it in your newspapers. I've seen ya. My talkers have seen ya. I'm not going to air you out yet. I'm going to need you guys to stop putting me in your byline. Mention Talk Radio in your shit. I'm going to stop putting you on front page. And I can do it and I can prove it. I don't want to do you like that. I respect you. I respect what you're trying to do. But come on, man. Give me some credit. Shit. Give me some credit. Anyway. Next new for the night is called, what's this one called? Mirror Conscience featuring Steph London here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
I'm playing with you.
Steph London, conscience. Say your bad from your bone. Say your bad from your bone.
Cute and that's why you behave so. Stink attitude cause you know some rate you. Little firecracker hotter than a volcano. Whirlwind tornado anywhere go. Hear me now. Never see a girl me love name me so. Trips to Montego, Trinidad and Tobago. You chill on the lane and you never complain. So when the time to catch plane, you have a part just to say. Now the mirror no tell no lie. Yeah, you look right all the time. Pull up any look that you try. Girl, you stay nice all the time. Girl, you never pull up and you never mash up yet. Never, you ever clean, never messy yet. Girl, you know you never dirty yet. Girl, you look nice all the time.
Hear me now, stick shift me body on your gear, you know. Push it in the belly, me no fear, you know. Hear me now, sweat just a drip, yeah, you're serious.
Looking at the sky, explore like you're curious.
You know if you style for me, do whatever you want. You are my daddy, yeah. Feel where your eye can't see, take charge. Make it work, and you make it work.
No, the mirror not tell no lie. Yeah, you look right all the time.
TAWK Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
You're nice all the time. Girl, Girl, you never pull up and you never mash up yet. Never you ever clean, never messy yet. Girl, you know you never dirty yet. Girl, you look nice all the time. Girl, you look good, smell good, clean good, and you cook good. Make a little basic, wish she good. What a mouth, what a brain, what a good. Flexible, girl, you know how to rock. Yes, mommy, you hold me like you put a X on me. Love how you keep it classy and you keep it cute. Girl and her friend, them a hate. You know meds them, you tell them.
Roadside when we walk, it's alarm. E5, them a kill it, them park. In the sky where we send them off. Things say a joke, but you know we're not laughing. I touch a button and see you want me skin child. No, you not baby. Yeah. Things say your bad try do it, but no I'm on time. Me a work, yeah.
You don't tell no lie. You look right all the time. Pull up and you look that you try. Girl, you see nice all the time. Girl, you never pull up and you never mash up yet. Never you ever clean, never messy yet. Girl, you know you never dirty yet. Girl, you look nice all the time. Yeah.
Conscience left London. Yeah, one done. One done. You look nice all the
time. TAWK Radio. Conscience and Steph London, that song was fire. Oh my god. I think I did pretty good today, you guys. You said you guys are loving the music and sending me dancing emojis and stuff. Champagne glasses. Are you really drinking this early in the evening? I'm just saying, depends on when you are. So, Ven is saying, hey, you know, what a placebo. A mental placebo. I just can't, I don't understand. I don't think there's that level of caring from a multinational, multi-billion-dollar company to give away vaccinations for free and show their proprietary work. I don't believe that that's a thing that they're doing. But then is also saying, hey, you know, all the people who think the world is overpopulated, why not just get in a spaceship and go somewhere else? They're trying to do that. I mean, listen, not for nothing. Let's call a spade a fucking spade. They can say, oh my God, you know, since I was a kid, you know, I thought about Star Trek and Star Wars and Jetsons and this, that, and whatnots and whatnots. Yeah, it sounds nice in theory, but truthfully, they're trying to leave. They're trying to leave. The funny thing is, though, like, you know, no matter what you believe, whatever your religious background might be, whatever it is, there's always something higher than yourself, right? And so I just kind of feel like God's not playing that. You say, I believe in God personally. God's not playing that shit. He said, look, I gave you guys an entire rock. Gave you a whole rock down here. Water, trees, grass, fruitation, this, that. I've given that to you. Dinosaurs have roamed the earth. They disappeared. You damn people did something, you disappeared, right? I gave Adam and Eve this garden. You had one thing to not do, and your lady did it, cast you out, right? Been here for a while, through all kinds of ups and downs and floods and this and that. You guys can't come up here. I don't want you up here. The funny thing is, you know, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die, right? The only time you're supposed to be up there is when you've been called back home by him. You've done something, and lights out. You can't just be up there hanging out and coming to mess up top with the angels and everybody like you do with everything else. You see what I'm saying? I gave you guys something to roam around on and own everything under your feet and your, I can't quote it, you know. All my pastors who are listening to the show shout me out, you know what I'm saying? But we've been given something quite lovely for a long time. And we've been fucking it up consistently for a long time. Right? So we don't get to go up there and fuck around up there as well. That's not how that's going to work out. So we need to be very mindful about that. But we'll talk about that stuff some more on the show too, because we're not afraid of anything here on the show. We talk about all topics here on the show, and spirituality is definitely one of them we're going to be getting into for sure, especially on the TV show. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so political stuff. I don't want to miss it. Every week I keep saying I'm going to talk about this stuff and I get sidetracked. So look at in New York City, you guys, in New York City. Secrets, not really secrets. I'm just being an arsehole right now. But look at, we have a gubernatorial race coming up for the New York governor for 2022. And there's lots of people jumping in. The only ones I'm focused on tonight are the 4 Democrats I'm focused on this evening. 4 Democrats this evening. So for those of you who are connected to them in their districts or whatever, you might want to tell them to listen to the show, drop some tidbits tonight, because I'm just curious. I'm just curious to how things are going to work. And, so right now, Kathy Hochul is in there, the Apostle Queen, I want to call her. I called her something else on the show before, and it was a bit, I don't take it back. I called her something very derogatory on the show before. Those of you who listen to my Wednesday shows might have heard what it was on one of my Pistivity rantings. I called her something that was not her name, right? Something that was not her name, something rather derogatory. And after some careful thinking, I decided I'm standing on what I said, just so we're clear. Right? So anybody in her, her circle of people, like I said, my skin is thick and I'm well connected. Thick skin and well connected, right? Listen to the entire episode of what I said and why I said it before you try to come for me, right? Let's give out the warnings and disclaimers from now. When the shots are fired, I keep my armor on, right? So let's just be clear. Listen to the entire episode to hear why I said what I said about her then. But in going forward, because I'm, trying to make better oxygen choices. I've chosen to make better oxygen choices, right? I will refer to her on the show as the Apostle Queen, and that is predicated on a conversation that she had, or a speech that she gave in a faith-based organization's house of worship. And you guys just have to go into my archive to check out and see what that is. But she will be known or referred to on the show as the Apostle Queen. And this is not a slight to all of my new talkers, because I used to refer to Governor Andrew Cuomo as King Cuomo on my show. Based on your behaviors is how you're referred to on this particular platform. Freedom of speech and whatnot. Right? So Miss Kathy Hochul is currently the governor of New York. She got in because Andrew Cuomo, or King Cuomo, was ousted for alleged sexual allegations and what. I say alleged, I wasn't there. I don't know, he touched, grabbed, rubbed on, whatever. I don't know. I don't know, right? But that's what allegedly happened, and they kicked his ass out, and now she's in. Nobody knew her name or who she was before this. And this is why when you guys are voting, you need to know who's the first in command, second in command, chain of command for certain things. So she's there. I've mentioned on the show before, I think she's very heavy-handed in the way she's dealing with New York, but also spidey senses, my cipher senses tingling. She's been New York State, because she's the governor of the state. New York State has 20 million people, like 19.8 million people in the state. We're leaving in droves, mass exodus, myself included, be leaving very, very soon. And she seems very, very obsessively focused on what's happening in New York City, though, which I just find, I don't know, very unsettling, because it doesn't seem like it's coming from a good place. And I mentioned before, here's where the politicians start writing down, and all the interns are writing down what Cypher's saying, right? She jumped into the race. She got grandfathered in because of what happened. And of course, once you get a taste of that power, you don't want to let it go, right? So she's there, and she doesn't want to leave, obviously. So she's going to run. And what she started to do, she says, okay, well, I'm a female. We've never, ever, ever had a female governor in New York, no matter what color. We also don't have term limits for governors in New York. So Andrew Cuomo was actually in his 11th year, right? He did have his 12th year going into the election next year, and he was all but a shoo-in. I mean, slight of something like what happened, he was going to be a shoo-in. So he'd have been going into doing 16 years as governor of New York. Now, take into account, Mr. Cuomo was not only now an ex-governor, he was a lawyer, and his dad, Mario Cuomo, was a governor for a while as well. So this is in his fucking DNA. This is in his blood. This is in his ego line. This is going to make way more sense when I get to predicting what I'm predicting, right? So with that being said, now Hochul jumps in. She's a female, white female, at least the right complexion for the first potential female governor of New York. And she started pandering to all of the usual suspects for Democratic elections. Let me go to the black churches. Let me go and assert myself here and there. Let me start to get endorsements, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people jumped behind her, I'm sure, because she was a female, right? But then, now we got Letitia James, who's now thrown her hat into the ring as well. Letitia James is a black woman. She is the current district attorney of New York. She used to be, I believe, the public advocate and a couple other things. Now, I don't know Letitia very well. I remember always seeing her in the newspaper, always hands-on with a lot of stuff. Hands-on. In the community, out there doing things, touching things, helping out, in the peripheral, what I got to see. Don't know much about her, right? Only a few things. And so what I do know, though, is from my VIP circle and a couple of people I do business with, that she has been a very big proponent against cryptocurrency and crypto movements in New York City. I don't know the state as well, but I know for sure in the city. So she'll be lovingly referred to in the show going forward as the crypto killer. Right? The crypto killer. So the Apostle Queen, the crypto killer. And again, no slights to either one of these women. I'd be happy to sit with them anytime they've got time to sit with me and talk with me. Happy to do it, right? But she was mashing down cryptocurrencies. Like a lot of people I know that do those investing, we'll have some conversations about that on the show as well. When they go on to go into some of these different, open different wallets and things like that, you're not allowed to do it in New York. And so, of course, they get frustrated. I said, well, check and see, because I don't know much about this stuff. Check and see if you could do it in other states. And damn near every other state in the US can do it except New York. Now, I think there's 2 of them you could open wallets. See, before you guys start coming, yes, you can. Yes, you can. There's like 2 of them. But the 2 of them that you could do it for in New York sold out their souls in order to have that access. Anything you do in that shit, they report everything. And I'm not saying people should be dodging and not paying their taxes. I'm not saying that. Please listen to the scope of the goddamn conversation. My skin is thick and I'm ready. Right? Pay attention. Critical thinking. Right? But she's been mashing down a lot of stuff. Now, the crazy thing with these 2 ladies is that we've had laws that Ms. Hochul has implemented here that's going to be implemented further. So I touched on some, I told you before, we guys are going to have 2,200 24-hour speed cameras that are going to run in New York City. Overly taxing poor people. I'm sure they'll be disproportionately set out amongst the black and brown communities. Again, all the interns hold these people accountable for your bosses. For instance, if you are an intern for Letitia James, you want to take your ass and go dig into these laws that were written and see where these cameras are supposed to go. Are they disproportionately put in areas for black and brown people? And take that shit back to Hochul's feet. Hey, how could you go into the big black churches and say this and say that and try to get their endorsements and whatnot, but you are disproportionately going after the same members, and if these members have to choose between giving tithes and paying to keep their cars on the road, guess who's going to lose? Past the black people that let the white woman into your church. Let's start some arguments tonight. Past the black people that let this white woman into your church. That's going to be going after your people's tithe money. Anyway, look into these things. I'm giving you guys hints, not for nothing as well. I happen to know on very, very good authority. And again, you guys be careful how you push me. You got to prove that. No defamation if I can prove it. And I got receipts, innit? Now, Miss Hochul, I know, was looking quite forward to getting an ambassadorship. Right? It was brought to my attention. And it's public record. You guys can Google the shit. I'm sure it's available online. So I don't say anything. I don't talk out of turn. When Cuomo was going to run for his re-election that was supposed to come up before this sexual scandal, he had intended to kick her off of the ticket. She was not going to be his running mate for the one coming up. If I'm not mistaken, he wanted to have specifically a black person from downstate. So considering New York City is considered downstate in New York. I don't think he had a particular person in mind, but he wanted to be someone black from in New York City to be his running mate. I guess to get the minority votes and whatnot. Strategic move, nothing wrong with that. It's business. It is. It's business. And his family business happens to be politics and law. Nothing wrong with that. So, preemptively of any of that shit going down, she gets all of a sudden these allegations come up. He gets booted out. She now has a black guy from down in the city as her second in command. I don't even remember his name because people don't tend to remember the names of the second in command. Right? And she might want to be mindful of that because she knows that when she was sitting as second to him, she was silently plotting, be careful who you put side of you Be careful who you put side of you. Again, you politicians, this is free consultations. You guys got political consultants around you that's charging you tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars that will not tell you the things that Cypher is going to tell you tonight. You're welcome in advance. You're welcome in advance. And if you want to donate to the show, Cash App, $TAWKRADIO, right? But Miss Hochul had decided, when he had told her, it got to her attention that he wanted to kick her off. She says, listen, she was demanding that he got her an ambassadorship in order for her to voluntarily step down. Specifically an ambassadorship to Ireland, where her family's from. Google it. So for all of you who think this woman is doing such a great job, and oh, she's a woman, and oh, we need a woman governor, and la, please know that she gave 2 shits and a cup of piss for New York City, because if she had had her way, she'd have been an ambassador and left the country altogether. All of the interns should be taking notes about this shit. I'm always a little fidgety about people who want something and it's not their primary focus. Right? It's almost like when you're dating someone and you realize they only chose you because they couldn't get the person they actually wanted to be with. It's like you're the booby prize. So if we got Governor Hochul and she won, we'd be like the booby prize. Guys, I might want to take that into consideration when you're voted. But anyway, that's the first part of that part. Going to play another new comeback and we'll discuss about Miss Letitia and what she needs to be mindful of in this going forwardness. I make up words here. In the going forwardness of this gubernatorial election. You guys take notes. Politicos, take notes. I know some of these papers are going to be writing this stuff down. It's all right. Everything I say on my show is automatically copywritten, and my fans know, my talkers know what's what. They know what's what and where they got the information from, and they know where you got it from too. But it's all right. We can share. That's what we do. We share. All right. Next new we got here tonight is from Light Show and Zubin, called Last Night, here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
All these killers here. Ay, I won't go no funerals, just dealerships. I'm gonna keep the peace when all these killers here. Ay, Glock got flashlights, they help me see him die. He don't see his man's eye, then he gon' see his dog. Just slid last night, we threw the V and pop. He don't see his man's eye, then he gon' see his dog. Don't slide for mine, I don't know what he feel for his. If it is, it is. That's my kids. If it's up, it's up. If it is, it is. Just slid last week, go like a week apart. We knock something off, we gon' cheers. My niggas dropping shit off, that's my kids. I got a homie, I probably won't see for years and years. I got it on
TAWK
right here,
Radio.
Remember Flirt died, we was back at the church high. Tears and tears, used to do curbside, orders later than surfside. Till I kick it and get, slide on my best day. You don't wanna see my worst side, just being sincere. Caught up with him broad day, he should've slept late. Would've been in the clear, I'm ducking all hate. I pay no mind, I only been here. Heard he got all face, Jones need him a new face. And souvenirs, I'm from a small place, them niggas all apes. I know a youngin' that's good at a car chase. New whip with the false plates, he gon' cook them like small plates. I got real hitters, do you like Scarface? Ever seen Scarface? Trunk space, for niggas no car space. Put up in some cosplay, it was bang bang, nigga like Pop say. Fucked up his prostate, and for gang gang, we eat off a large plate. Was beef with an entree, my block got flashlights, they help me see him die. He don't see his man's eye, then he gon' see his dog. Just slid last night, we threw the V and pop. He don't see his man's eye, then he gon' see his dog. Don't slide for mine, I don't know what he feel for his. If it is, it is. That's my kids. If it's up, it's up. If it is, it is. Just slid last week, go like a week apart. If it's up, it's up. If it is, it is. We hang with biz did. We get it done, no kids. We got them sticks and 40s, and we got sticks and fifths. We got the tax FNs, it ain't got no kick, it's lit. If I point them out, it's it.
TAWK Worldwide Wednesdays.
I got 2 drums, tips, yeah, dumb shit. And I got some real slimes, niggas can't even be trusted. Still put up, spend me a little time with killers, grew up with them, fuck with them. Ay, Glock got flashlights. flashlights that help me see him die. If he don't see his man's eye, then he gon' see his dog. Just slid last night, we threw the V and pop. If he don't see his man's eye, then he gon' see his dog. I won't go no funeral, just tell this shit. I'm gon' keep the peace with all these killers here. Ay, I won't go no funeral, just tell this shit. I'm gon' keep the peace with all these killers here.
TWK Radio's Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6 on Talk Radio with your host Cypher Kai. Now look it, Miss Letitia James. Again, I don't know much about you, but you share my skin tone, so I'm going to just tell you what I'm feeling. Listen, I don't know about how this political arena works, all the backdoor stuff and the whatnot. I just know what I feel, and my feelings never steer me wrong. Now look it, I would suggest, of course, when you're running a political campaign, you have these scavengers that will go and, for the most part, dig through your background and see what can come back and bite you on the ass. I suggest you get some interns, regular ground people, not like private detectives and shit, to go and just do a litmus test. You know, people who are in your old constituencies of where we used to govern before, public advocate areas and assembly persons areas and whatever you were doing before, and just kind of get a gauge for what people have to say about your name, how they associate your name on a level of people that might actually go out and vote. People who you're killing cryptocurrencies for, they move on to other things, they don't go out and vote. Focus on the people who are actually going to go out and vote. See, that's the thing. We've got 19.8 million people in the state of New York. I'm sure a very small portion of them will even go out and vote. People don't go out and vote because they feel disenfranchised, and they know when you guys are blowing smoke up their asses. They might not be able to articulate the way that I can. They can't. They don't normally have a platform, but they know when they're getting hustled. Right? Actionable things. Poor people, regular people, savvy people, young people like crypto. They understand it. They are brought up in a world that it is social media and tech from the time they pop out the mom's womb. That is important. That is important to know. Not to mention, you're going for governor of New York, and the new incoming mayor of New York has got 4 years in. Coming up 4 years in, is saying he's going to be the crypto mayor. That's going to create some kind of friction there, isn't it? Now, if I'm not mistaken, in the hierarchy of government, you hold a higher position than him as the Attorney General, but do you really want to butt heads with him? I would suggest, here's my suggestion, and again, you guys get this to Miss James as much as you can, right? My suggestion would be, play nice. I don't know exactly why you were going after crypto. I don't know what your narrative was for it, be honest. Again, I've not been following. But just the niggling I got. Since Miss Hochul has come out and has started to hit the places that you would have normally hit and got attention from as a black woman with experience and running, she's grabbed a lot of those normal democratic things, the black reaching things. You might want to hop on board with some of these billionaires and celebrities that's riding high on Mr. Eric Adams' win. Just a suggestion, because I know for him to have that, what was that, like a thank you party, or I won party, or whatever, in Zero Bond. Yeah, that's not a regular place. You know, just saying. You might want to get in close with him and find out what's his plans, what's his goals, as far as that crypto piece is concerned. You guys should work on having a better relationship than that one that was between de Blasio and Cuomo. Do things nicer from now. Sure, it doesn't always have to be a cat fight and a clawing, right? And get some of his people to back you up. Not for nothing as well. If you guys can't play well together, I don't know what you guys' background is. It's in his best interest to move you up further upstate, to keep your nose out of his business down here, or stagnate you altogether. So you can decide which way that's going to go. But if he's already been touting himself as the crypto mayor, publicly in competition with the mayor in Miami, and all this new money that can surge into the city and heal a lot of things and fill these corporate offices that are vacant and all that other shit, you might want to get on board to get some of that money, ma'am. Just kind of suggesting. Just a suggestion. And I didn't charge you 6 figures for that consultation. At the same token, though, Miss James, again, my niggling, there is nothing more intoxicating than power, and nothing more stimulating than vengeance. Let me say it one more again. Again, when you guys are playing this shit, play the whole damn thing. There is nothing more intoxicating, I've heard, than power, and nothing more inspiring or than vengeance. And so this cuts both ways as far as I believe it goes with Cuomo, right? He was in there going into his 12th year, almost guaranteed 6 years as governor of one of the most well-known states in the world. People from other countries, they know the US, they know California, they know New York, they know California. They might know some other states, but this is what they know. And with your investigation, you took it away. Not saying it's right or wrong, whatever. I'm saying you took it away. You took the power away. And so now he's a private citizen. He's got time. And unlike a lot of people that jump into these places, he used to be a lawyer. And I'm sure there are people you've ruffled their feathers over the years. And so the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And so I feel like there's going to be a political target on you as far as trying to sabotage your campaign. Whatever skeletons you've got hidden, whatever things you might have done, if you've ever beat your child before, or whatever the case might be, they will dig it. So do your own digging, buy your own shovel, and look for your own shit. Because I can't imagine he's going to allow this to just go so smoothly. Whether he puts his hand on it publicly or not, or just a couple back behind the rooms whisperings for your ass, there'll be some of that. And Hochul's not going to escape it either. I'm sure he's quite pissed with her stepping in and cutting off a lot of the projects he was going to do, taking over his thoughts and bringing in a black guy next to him, the whole 9 yards. So she's not clean either. But you, ma'am, who took the power away, snatched the cord out the outlet, I'm sure there's some plotting on you right now. In a political way, not physically harming you, like in a political way. So just be mindful about that. Now also, Me Too movement. All of you ladies with the Me Too. Right? Now, we've never had a woman in the high office in New York. Now we got a white woman and a black woman. Who's going to step up for who? What does that fight look like? This is going to be so interesting. This might be the most interesting political race I think I'm going to watch. And I want you guys to be very mindful. Every debate I'm going to watch, whether I'm out of state or not, everything that happens, every exchange, I'm watching everything. I want to see Me Too movement, BLM, alphabet community. They rah till it comes to something important. Me Too. Really? So is it only Me Too when women are going after men to take them down and besmirch their reputations? Do you guys not stand together for each other as well? Because I rarely see women that are empowered doing things to empower other women. And not for nothing, as I'm saying this, please ladies, if you end up in the run-ins for the state, do yourselves a favor. If you're going to put more women on, make sure they exude two qualities. One, that they are qualified for the position they're getting, and two, they are respectful, loyal team players. Again, I'm giving you free game, right? There's a lot of women who get very catty and very bitchy really quick, and quick to sell you out. Oh, well, I'm going to say so and so and so. Vet these women all the way through. Women are very easily manipulated. Oh, when she was younger, she had sex with a couple guys. Oh, her kids might not have the same father. So what? Right? Not necessarily a reason to not let her run. Find a woman with thick skin who will stand on the decisions she made. Period. But be careful who you surround yourself with. Right? So, play some more music, come back and talk about the other two candidates coming into the gubernatorial race on the Democratic side. I don't know who's running on the Republican side yet, but I know this gubernatorial race in New York City is going to be super interesting to me anyway. Super interesting. I'm going to have all eyes. I might buy glasses just so I can have extra eyes on these races. Extra eyes on these races. Next new for the night is called Outlaws. Rick Ross featuring Jasmine Sullivan. Oh God. Live, unscripted, uncensored radio. I'm having such a good time right now. You guys are so amazing with all these messages behind the scenes. Anyway, Outlaws, Rick Ross featuring Jasmine Sullivan, I did it again, and 21 Savage here on the Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
You have the gun, I'll take the will. If you say go, you know I will. And though this love has its flaws, we're forever outlaws.
Maybach music.
Messed around, but I forgave you. Why do they still want me to hate you? Cause if I'm choosing to forget it, why can't they just mind their business? Cause I'm stuck like glue. Cause I can't stop loving you.
I wanna see my dogs on the mountaintops. Niggas only ballin' when they albums drop. I got a line of cars rapping round the block and living better than these rappers rapping round the clock.
TAWK Radio.
Porch. Since everybody asking where your car's going, mozzarella now it's only tall cheddar. Most dope boys been a pallbearer. Package the product, then you pick it up back in Bahamas. Talking them dollars, how I touch it, come off as a profit. You leave your pistol on, then you're on your own. Cause little one when it's on, they gon' do you wrong. See you nodding off on that fentanyl. If you're not a boss, boy, don't get involved.
Oh God.
You messed around, but I forgave you. Why do they still want me to hate you? Cause if I'm choosing to forget it, why can't they just mind their business? Cause I'm stuck like glue. Cause I can't stop loving you.
Whoa. Life full of VVS, diamonds, and bad choices. Young, you're dreaming about Ted 9s and Porsche. It's cold, I keep my hoodie on. Block 4-5, ready to get my boogie on. Good panties showing. Say I talk in my sleep. I start part driving, put it in reverse with my heat. Pistol talking back, I think I heard it cursing at me. They say you better not fuck a bitch or write a verse without me. Oh God, the streets left me scarred. Bleeding, but it's concrete, Sean. Soda coming out, catch up with me, I keep going. Better come and get your, cause she gone. She don't go. This that straight drop. All these other niggas rethrowing. Call my 9 Jada, she kissing. Good deep block. Know some niggas out on the west, they reppin' treetop. These still talking like this, I pray they stop. I don't wanna hear your opinion on about what's hip hop. 30 hanging off of my bridges, yeah, that's hip hop. Oh God.
TAWK Radio.
Why do they still want me to hate you? Cause if I'm choosing to forget it, why can't they just mind their business? Cause I'm stuck like glue. Cause I can't stop loving you.
Yes. They calling it pandemic when it's really life. The only way to separate the men and mice. Until you seem successful, you consider roguish. That's why you seen that nigga pull up in that Lotus. He got the 40 on him up against his colon. Standing in the club but know the niggas rolling. We all got a purpose and my people serving. All got some working and I'm speaking murders. Still be counting funds until my fingers purple. Praying for your mother, but it still hurt you. Smoking on a bag that I got from Burner. The bottles all black and that the earner. Soldiers waving flags when they see the colonel. If you see the flash, then it don't concern you.
Oh God.
You messed around, but I forgave you. Why do they still want me to hate you? Cause if I'm choosing to forget it, why can't they just mind their business? Cause I'm stuck like glue. Cause I can't stop loving you.
Maybach music.
see at WK Radio. That one is good too. I think I did pretty good tonight with these new news, man. I kind of like them. Tonight we had COVID conversations and Polititricks. Lots of different political things that are going on. Oh my goodness. So you guys are saying, this is going to be very interesting. Even people who are in other states are saying they're going to now watch what's going to be happening for this gubernatorial election in New York City. And New York State, sorry. And a lot of things that happen here trickle over into other states. Lots and lots of stuff. Next week, I'm going to do a part 2 to this from a standpoint of talking about some of the things that Governor Hochul has already written in to be implemented expeditiously, and some new things are going to kick in January of 2022. And so it'll be interesting for those of you who live here and who can legally vote here to find out what these things are, and if you are opposed to them, seeing where the other politicians who are going to be running stand on these things. But I tell you, Miss James, please have your interns dig and find out where those cameras, those speed cameras, those 2,200 speed cameras are going to be placed. Now, I know it's something that started under de Blasio before you guys start your shit. Well, she just got in there, da-da-da. Yes, I know that. But there are things that Cuomo was going to do that she decided, nope, not doing it. Cutting off the project, not doing it. So it could have been the same thing here. And as a person that lives here, our speed limit in New York is 25 miles an hour in certain places and 15 miles an hour in other places, which is absolutely ludicrous. Yes, the traffic is, a lot, and you can normally not even go 25 miles an hour. But I think they start snapping you over 27 miles or some bullshit like that. And these tickets are like $50 a pop that come in the mail. And so what happens is with any of these tickets, you get a combination of whatever, whether it be alternate side parking tickets for trash when they're supposed to clean the streets. But because of the vaccine mandate and the strike, they're not actually cleaning the streets, but you're still getting fucking tickets. Between the speed cameras, between the double parking, there's no parking for anything with all the construction. With the rezoning that happened over the past couple years where they had allowed rezoning to happen where you can go into a neighborhood that had normally 2 and 3 family houses and turn it into a 6 and 9 family unit. Infrastructure could not support that. Just a lot of shit. So always constantly changing out piping and messing with the gas lines and just all kinds of shit. It is not going to be a conducive place to live for people who are working minimum wage jobs, if you don't have a real background in anything. And more than that, if you're not a skilled worker in the next couple of years, or someone that has what I like to call comes from a family of fuck you money, these dynasties, these Rockefellers and the 1% that keep the money rotating around, you're going to be kind of stuck in fucked. Because here's the thing, it sounds really great in theory to say, okay, well, move out of state, things are cheaper. Yeah, if you're still making New York money, things are cheaper. If you move out of state, again, be mindful when you're making a jump to move somewhere, do research, especially my black people. Your cousins say, oh, come down south. Sounds great in theory, doesn't it? Until you recognize that your New York attitude is not going to go very well out of state. Right? Their laws are different depending on the age of the kids you're taking. You need to find out certain laws, the area you're going to live in. Do you have to pay for your own water? Do you have to pay for your own taxes? Do you have to pay for your own sewage and cleaning? We don't have those things in New York City. You go into an apartment, you rent it, everything's on your landlord, and you kind of take for granted that everything's on them and you don't feel like you have to do anything, including paying your goddamn rent most of the time. So do some research where you're going. And then think worst case scenario. If I go out there to wherever and I lose my New York job, or they mandate me and say, well, you got to be in the office. You can't make New York money in other places like what they're doing now. What okie doke thing can you do? What kind of hustle can you do, legally, of course, to maintain the space you're living in? Right? So get knowledgeable. They got YouTube tutorials on everything. Do faces, I know this I'm seeing things pop in my face. I know somebody's not seeing me broadcasting and sending me links for other people's shit. I'm going to wig out. Absolutely fucking wig out. Anyway. So yeah, but just be mindful. If you can do hair in the house, guys, if you cut hair, if you, get your kids involved too. They want to live nice. They want to have their own rooms in New York, for instance. I saw 1 bedrooms are going for like $2,000. 1 bedroom apartment in a building, not the nicest, fanciest shit, no parking, fully attached. Now, people in other states are outraged. What? Oh my God, I could get a whole house for that. That's mortgage money. That's this and that. That's true. And so if your children want to live bigger and beyond what they deserve and what their chores and their grades allow them, get them involved too. They're very techie. They're on their phones constantly. Make them do something to help you pay for those expensive phones they got. You know, we'll talk about that on our Freaky Financial Fridays coming up. But get the fucking family involved. If they want better, it has to be done better as a family. It can't be on one person. Right? Ladies, if you know how to cook, sell food from your house. Make a couple of meals per day. Bag them up nice. Make sure your kitchen's clean. Go and sell the food. Right? Let your kids wash cars. You know, something. You can do it. But staying in these very expensive states that don't care about you, and besides the expensive rent, everything else to live there is expensive as well. The tickets, the parking, the rent, the cost of food, just everything. It's time to really reassess and maybe humble. I know a lot of people are connected to their properties, to their belongings, and for that reason your ego won't allow you to move. Let go and start over. All you need is a plan and some motivation, and you can make anything a castle. Honest to God. Honest to God. That's what I'm doing. I'm leaving to go out of town, going somewhere I didn't expect to go. God has had a blessing stored up for me, and I'm going to grasp it. I'm going to grasp it, you know, and it's going to be lovely. Why? Because I'm going to make it lovely. I'm going to make it lovely. So you guys just start to assess and think about, you know, what's in your best interest to do. That was a little side note. All right. So let me get to another new, come back and talk about the other two candidates in the Democratic portion so far, which is Mayor Bill de Blasio and Jumaane Williams. Those two, the two men. So 2 women, 2 men, 2 white people, 2 black people. You see? Interesting. Yes, New York City's gubernatorial race is going to be very interesting. Now, this song I'm going to play, I know I've heard it somewhere before, but I was just very impressed that I had access to play it here legitimately on the platform. And I kind of love it. This one's called Smoking Out the Window by Bruno Mars, Anderson .Paak, and Silk Sonic here on the Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Wait a minute, this love started off so tender, so sweet. But now she got me
smoking out the window. Must have spent 45,000 up in Tiffany's. Oh no! Got a badass kids running around my whole crib like it's Chuck E. Cheese. Whoa. Put me in the jam with an X-Man in the UFC. Can't believe it. I'm in disbelief. This bitch got me paying her rent, paying for trips, diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her wrist, and here I am all alone. I'm so cold, you got me out here. Smoking out the window, singing how could she do this to me? How could she do this to me? Oh, I thought that girl belonged to only me, but I was wrong, 'cause she belonged to everybody. Ooh. Just the other night she was gripping on me tight, screaming Hercules. Got me in the club looking for a new love, someone help me please. Baby, why you doing this? Why you doing this to me, girl? Not to be dramatic, but I wanna die. This bitch got me paying her rent, paying for trips, diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her wrist, and here I am all alone. I'm so cold, you got me out here. Smoking out the window of the Benzo, singing how could she do this to me? How could you do this? Oh, I thought that girl belonged to one thing for sure. But I was wrong. She belonged to everybody. Yes, she belonged to everybody. That she belonged to everybody.
GWK Radio with your hostess Cypher Kai on the ones and twos. Listen, let me just take a moment to shout out to DJ Cypher Kai, which would be myself and being facetious. This music selection tonight was awesome, but let me also learn a couple of these young up-and-coming musicians, rappers and whatnot. From what I can gather from that song, and I'll probably play it about 3 more times tonight off the air when I'm off the air, it sounds to me as though they just sang in perfect harmony, perfect pitch, nice musical arrangement, and called someone a gold-digging whore in the smoothest of ways, with evidence. Gold-digging whore with proof. In the smoothest, most melodic of ways. Y'all don't have to be calling people bitches and whores every other sentence. He did say the word bitch in the song, but it was so smooth. This bitch got me paying her rent, paying her bills, diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her whatever, and taking the kids to Chuck E. Cheese and whatnot. That's so amazing. Fuck! That's how you do music! That's how you do it! Right? So all of you youngins, learn it. Learn it. Learn it. Learn how to do it. Learn how to do it. I'm very impressed with that song, I must say. I was sitting there smiling like, what is he saying? But it sounds so good. It's almost like, even if he was insulting me, like, okay, you know what? You fucked up for that. But you know what? I won't punch you because it sounds so great and it's so melodic. Now, not encouraging anybody else to come around me and sing insults to me. I might actually clock your ass. But I'm just saying, it was very smooth the way he went about doing that. Now, de Blasio, mayor, ex-mayor, no, he's still current mayor Bill de Blasio is out in like a month and change. 8-year term. I don't know too many things he's done that benefited me at all. His housing initiative for housing the homeless is a farce, to say the least. I'm here in the city, I know this. The mental health thing was also shot to shit. They completely fucked that up. And what was his other initiative? The pre-K. I think that might have worked. I think they got to implement that for some kids, but then now your sneaky asses have these children going to school, and the new guy coming in is going to mandate these new kids going into school to get vaccines so they can't go to school. So I don't know. Yeah, and he's another one, no loyalty. Because when it was time for him to run for his second term, he jumped out and wanted to run for president. Negated a couple things that's happening. There's a snowstorm happened at one point. A couple things happened, and just no loyalty there either. So it's like, would this be the booby prize for him? Because he really wanted to be president. I think he knew he didn't have a chance with that shit. I don't know where the arrogance came from. But he jumped out to do that, completely fell on his fucking face and came back here. And to be perfectly honest, if you notice what's been happening in the city since he lost the presidential campaign, it's like he didn't give a shit. And I said that, I believe, on the show. He's not going to give a shit. And he's been showing he's not giving a shit. This place is in absolute disarray. The mess that Eric Adams is going to have to come in and clean up is unfucking believable. But it's all good. So I say that to say, yes, he's got some political capital. People know his name, but not normally in a good thing. And so respectfully, on this platform, we call him de Blasio No. De Blasio No. So we got the Apostle Queen, which is Governor Hochul. We got the Crypto Killer, which is Miss Letitia James, and we got de Blasio No here on the platform. And so he's running, and so I don't think he's really got a fighting chance to win, but he is in the Democratic gubernatorial campaign for New York City. So I don't have much to say about him as far as that's concerned. The next person running is Jumaane Williams. Now, Jumaane Williams, again, I don't know much about him either. I do remember seeing his name a lot, also more of a grassroots kind of guy. He's the one that shows up and gets things done. He's done a couple of protests and things. I know he's gotten arrested before. More of a hands-on kind of guy. I think I saw a very quick interview with him and his wife the other day. He's got a beautiful black wife, a black woman hair and black woman features. Unfortunately, I think they had gone through some kind of situation. I think they lost a baby recently or something, or she was diagnosed with cancer or something along those lines. So I respectfully sending love and light in your direction and prayers in your direction, Miss Williams. I forgot what she does. I think she's rather accomplished as well. Now, as much as it would delight me tremendously to see a New York version of the Obamas in the governor's mansion in New York, I don't know that they have the political capital for it. He's been very actively involved, but unfortunately, people don't look at that. They won't say, okay, well, this guy has a track record for doing, this, and this, right? And so he's also just been elected for public advocate again, another term for public advocates. Is like, the people that went and fought to vote for him, how are they supposed to feel that he potentially wants to move on to be governor? Now, they can say, well, that's a great thing, first black guy to hold it. Now, we've had a black governor before, by default, though. When one of those other governors that was there, one of the, who was it, Pataki? Somebody did something, Spitzer. Yeah, Spitzer did something stupid. And his lieutenant governor had to step in, black guy by the name of something Patterson. Someone Patterson, can't remember his name right now, but it was a blind guy. And he never wanted to run the second run around. He did his job, he filled in, he stepped up the way the second in command is supposed to do, and then he never ran. So in an interim de facto kind of thing, we had a black guy there before. Right? But not someone who officially ran and won, and the majority of people said, yes, person of color, we want you sitting there. So that would be tremendous if either one of the black candidates won for New York. Again, I get a very Obama-ish vibe. Okay, well, no, minor Obama. Like minor Obama. When Obama's walked into a room, even before he was president, when he was still running, I remember seeing President Barack Obama doing one of the conventions, the Democratic conventions, and I remember saying to people in the room, I said, this guy, it's got something about him. And it had to be maybe 4 years later he ran, and of course he won. But there was something there's a swag there, but more than that, there's an electricity between them. If you guys need to go back and look at some clips, look at the Obamas. Anytime, specifically Michelle is doing a speech and the audience, they're panning the audience to look at Barack. He looks at her with such adoration. And vice versa. It's so fucking beautiful. That's the energy you look for, because those things surpass other stuff. That kind of connection surpasses other things. I've also noticed that Serena Williams' husband, the white guy, the billionaire dude, he looks at her the same way. Ladies, stay tuned for these upcoming Fridays. Grown-ups, you want a partner that looks at you that way. When they think nobody else is looking, when they're not doing it for camera or clout or whatever, someone who looks at you like that. And especially if it's reciprocal. Because usually in a relationship it's always off-ended. Somebody, is more in love than the other. But when you can find a partner that looks at you that way, come back and see me on Fridays, you guys. Freaky Fetish Fridays this week. Freaky Fetish Fridays coming up this week. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.twkradio.com. So I say that to say, I don't know much about Mr. Williams. I know he's one of those guys who usually gets very involved in what he's doing, but to my knowledge, he doesn't have I don't think he has enough political capital to get to be the governor of New York, unless, goodness forbid, something radically horrible happens to all of the candidates on both sides. And that's no affront to Mr. Williams. Again, because it's New York, because of how we're seen globally, I don't know that they're ready for a black person to officially be in that box, but if someone's going to be there, it has to be someone with thick skin and a very well-known political background is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, right? Now, if I'm wrong on that and he's done more things than I know about, you guys are welcome to hit me up and let me know. I'm always happy to learn some things, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't know that he has enough political capital to be in that box right now in this climate. I don't know. But again, maybe if his views align with Mr. Adams, and right now he's the guy to know, because there is a lot of money. There's a lot of money and expectation behind Mr. Adams right now. I'm telling you. So, that's my little shtick for the political the gubernatorial race in New York City, as you guys will stay tuned for. Another new we got here tonight is called Back to My Old Life by Landstrip Chip, here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
I need a bag to speak, pay me the fee. Be talking, talk is cheap. I got Christian Dior all on my feet. Yeah. Remember when I was playing close up, I make them feel it. Fraud and I'm just trying to ball, so I've been on my pivot. Millions right there and I can taste it. Ain't picking up if we ain't talking about paper. Them hundreds add up in my calculator. Can't fuck right now, babe, I gotta see you later. These time for, so I cannot see you haters. Who's keeping score? I feel like an MVP player. The fours and your nigga big as the mill. I got your front row like she tryna sit with the players. I need a bag to speak, pay me the fee. Me talk is cheap. I got Christian Dior all on my feet. Yeah. Remember I was living like a low life. Back came in and changed my whole life. Ain't no way that I could go back to my old life. No. We ain't, but I don't care. These shoes $1,000 a pair. Money still piling while I sleep. And I can't count this to myself. No, I just been laying in my bed. Benjamin Franklin's on my head. No explanations why I'm here. Had to put temptations in my reel. I walk out the bank, I'm holding the bag, I'm counting the back ends. Christian Dior, she liking my fashion. A was down bad, but that's in the past tense. Now I'm giving them all cash, I don't care what the tab is. I need a bag to speak, pay me the fee. Me talk is cheap. I got Christian Dior all on my feet. Yeah. Remember I was living like a low life. Back came in and changed my whole life. Ain't no way that I could go back to my old life. No.
T at the BK Radio's Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 with your host is Cypher Kai on the ones and twos. Oh my god, you guys said you are going to be political rats now. I don't know to be a rat, but okay. You're very interested in politics now all of a sudden. I appreciate your interest in stuff. I mean, like I said, this is all about critical thinking. We have fun, we play music, and we have conversations, but this is really a learning experience, isn't it? I want you guys to learn and be open-minded about some things and be able to have bigger conversation with your friend circle besides how much you dislike your spouse and how annoying your children and your boss are. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about some things. Let's talk radio. Let's have some grown-up conversations that don't always have to be sexually charged. We do those on Fridays. But anyway, let's continue here with these new news. I'm here talking back and forth about business while I'm broadcasting. The multitasking is on point tonight. Thank you, God. So the next one we're playing here tonight on the new news section of the Worldwide Wednesdays is Beautiful Lies. This is Young Blue featuring Kaylani here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
You had me at hello. Could never make you happy, girl, it must be the devil. Beautiful lies. Don't break my heart, tell me beautiful lies. Beautiful. She's an emotional wreck right now. She got some things on her chest right now. I bet she looking at my text right now. So hit me back, don't do me back like that. Can't take you back if you in the past like that. All the reason why you been in your bag like that. Don't get this confused. You lied to me, I won't believe you again. But that shit, you never see me again. Came in my life and now you leaving again. You telling me beautiful lies. Don't break my heart. Tell me beautiful lies. I want to believe you when you say that you always loved me that way. Tell me beautiful lies. Beautiful lies.
What can I say to you? Hopefully nothing I can take back. We getting farther from the right track. And I'm in this place with you. Oh, every day it's like you're on attack. And we can't keep getting down like that. Cause we be falling out, you keep f***ing up. You apologize and I suck it up. I just stick around, try to toughen up. Is the love enough? You're telling me
beautiful lies. Don't you break my heart. Tell me beautiful lies.
I want to believe you when you say that you'll always love me that way. Beautiful lies.
Don't wanna see you, but I need your love. Had to ask you why, cause they be sleep on us. Licking on that and you feel deep in love. Baby, come and tell me what you need from love. I'll be here. Yeah. Beautiful lies. Beautiful lies. You had me at hello. Could never make you happy, girl. It must be the devil. Beautiful lies. Don't break my heart. Tell me beautiful lies. I want to believe you when you say that you always love me that way. Tell me beautiful lies.
TAWK Radio's Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6 with your hostess Cyberkai on www.tawkradio.com/shows. Now, again, I want to give a special shout out to all of the people that are tuned in tonight. You guys are absolutely amazing. To all of the archivers as well. Thank you so much for thank you so much for tuning in to the show, going back in the archives when you get a chance from work or whatever, and you are sharing the links around and all of that stuff. While I'm talking to you guys, I was trying to check something. I want to give a special shout out to someone, and my equipment is bugging out. I'm going to play another song. The song I'm going to play now is called Dancer. This is one by Aceberg TM. And this song was actually a new a couple weeks ago on the show. Here it is. All right. So I also want to give a special shout out to all of the people. If you were unaware, let me tell you, we are available on iHeartRadio as well. So if you missed the episodes here and you got iHeart queued up on your phone or in your car or whatever, we are on iHeartRadio. I don't know if we're on Spotify right now. I gotta look into the link and see why that's not there anymore. So, but we are on iHeart. So you can listen from the website always, www.tawkradio.com/shows, or you can catch our archive episodes available on, available on iHeartRadio as well. The archive should be there. I think they keep the last 25 or 50 episodes on iHeart. So, that's there as well. Who's talking to me? Okay, so this one's called Dancer, Aceberg TM, here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
It's Kelpie vibes.
Loving your styling, drop it one time for me. I don't think that I will let you walk away. Hope you don't mind if I pour a drink for you, but I'll understand if you don't wanna go there. Waiting your mind, call me whenever, I'll be right there, girl, that be my pleasure. Just let me know, tell me where you want attention. I'll be alright at taking you places, what's the location? Just let me know, yeah. Cause when she on that floor, she's a dancer. Make me lose control, belly dancer. When she on that floor, she's a dancer. Make me lose control, belly dancer. future. Now hope our feelings are mutual, yeah. If I could just have one more dance with you, girl, I got plans for you. Waiting in your mind, call me whenever, I'll be right there, girl, that be my pleasure. Just let me know, tell me where you want attention. I'll be alright to take
TAWK Radio Worldwide Wednesday.
Just let me know, yeah. Cause when she on that floor, she's a dancer. Baby, lose control, belly dancer. When she on that floor, she's a dancer. Baby, lose control, belly dancer.
Oh, yes. Love my job. All right, you guys. So thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. The exclude for the evening is actually the replay of the first song from the evening, as promised. Someone made a special request for that song, and I actually rather happen to love it. So again, you guys, if you came in late to the show, as I come off the air, feel free to reload the page, www.tawkradio.com/shows, and you can hear everything from the beginning. For all of the archivers, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. I want you to know I'm thinking of you now, even while I'm doing the live episodes. I know you guys are making this thing a movement. Shout out to all of the countries that have me as your morning broadcast in the morning. And my God, I can't wait for you guys to be able to see the visuals and all the antics I carry on with in the studio when I'm broadcasting, when we do the TV show, because talk radio is going to be on TV in spring of 2022, guys. So thank you so much for all of the love and support, the likes and shares. So the replay for the evening, come back on Friday for our Freaky Fetish Fridays this week. I changed what we were supposed to talk about. We were supposed to talk about sex trafficking and things like that, but I just feel like it's a little heavy for this week. So this week will be about the Freaky Fetish Fridays. It is a 24/7 hotline for you guys to utilize. You can leave some voicemails in the next 48 hours to be played on the show on Friday. Anything you've ever wanted to do, any kinky thing you've ever wanted to do, feel free to leave that on the voicemail. It can be anonymous. You don't have to say your name. The phone number is 347-450-3958, 347-450-3958. And if you like what you hear and you're so inclined to give a donation, the Cash App is $TAWKRADIO. Also, any small businesses that want to be connected to the show, we got special rates coming up for you if you'd like to make a donation for what you're hearing. A lot of you said you wanted to do that. Also, hit us up at the Cash App, $TAWKRADIO, and, make those corporate donations and stuff. Wonderful, wonderful thing to do. We got some great promotional packages we're going to be rolling out starting in December. Stay tuned for that. And to my A1 Day ones, just know that I love you. The replay for the evening is Do It For Me on the Black Bimmer Rhythm, DJ Jamar and Patex here on the Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Oh, you there? DJ Jamar for the girl them again. On this journey, boss, I fi tell them. Back it up, 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 yeah. Back it, back it, back it up, yeah. Back it up, me girl, because I feel something. A one man alone get a leg for one. Girl, you have the fat and the heavy. They know for me, girl, them can't tell you no, sir. A the girl, them time now for dash it out. The whole place bust when you dash it out. Dash it out, dash it out, dash it out. Dash it, dash it, dash it, dash it, dash it out. Yeah, me love that style, just do it for me. Do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. Make your body shake, girl, do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place and do it easily. Yeah, me love that style, just do it for me. Do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. Make your body shake, girl, do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place and do it easily. Girl, you have the place on the fire. Me love it how you round like a tire. Sweat a run off for me a perspire. You no shape like no fridge or no dryer. The girl them time now for dash it out. The whole place bust when you dash it out. Dash it out, you dash it out, you dash it out. Dash it, dash it, dash it, dash it, dash it out. Girl, me love that style, just do it for me. Do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. Make your body shake, girl, do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place, you do it easily. Girl, me love that style, just do it for me. Do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. Make your body shake, girl, do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place, you do it easily. Go on your head, girl. 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 Got it. Me say that one your name. Girl, me love that style, just do it for me. Do it for me. Do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. Do it for me. Make your body shake, girl, do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place, you do it easily. Girl, me love that style, just do it for me. Do it for me. Do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. Do it for me. Make your body shake, girl, do it for me. Girl, you fuck up the place, you do it easily. Do it for me. Do it. Do it for me. Do it. Oi. Do it for me.
CWK Radio's Worldwide Wednesdays. All right. Thank you guys, my lovelies. Be careful. Drive safely. Enjoy the archives. I'm glad to have you here. Hope to see you again on Fridays, but I understand it is a, not for everyone. Not for everyone. My brain got stuck on me. Live, unscripted, uncensored radio. I got distracted for a second. But I'm going to go see a man about a dog. And those of you who know what my slang term means, you know what that means. I got some things to do in furtherance of what we're going to be doing here on the show. So I got to go get busy after getting busy here. So thank you guys for coming. See you guys next week by God's grace, and hope to check in with me for our Freaky Fetish Fridays with the 24/7 hotline number 347-450-3958. And I will see you on Friday. Good night, my lovelies.